John?
I think that'll help. Got our fan. We got, what more can you ask for?
Air conditioning in the booth.
Well,
yeah, a booth like
enclosed booth.
Kimberly, or Wisconsin, I was sent to last year. Full booth air conditioner in each room. Guess where I was hanging out doing all the All-Americans at? In the booth.
Well, you can work on that for the next day.
I'm hoping for a next. Well, problem is building one in here. It's got to be capable. Be taken down. Steven says the flip. Yeah, whatever.
Come out and take it down when it floods.
Yeah.
outside than the inside?
A couple I'm not being able to get.
Done that.
That's surprising. I thought everybody would do that.
Number 16 is Stacy Andrew.
They already entered all last part. For free on here. Teams have to pass their they might enter 2 teams.
Okay, so
No.
Let me get a.
We know who's pitching for All-American?
Looks like Pat Moore.
Pat Moore. Okay.
She's grown a bit since freshman year.
Tell you, that was tough, wasn't it, to be thrown in there?
Oh,
Reagan.
that was that game though when, oh gosh, now I can't think of her name. Playing at UW right now.
Kelly. Very close.
Probably about a pitch away.
Capital Community Television, in cooperation with the City of Salem, presents the 2017 USA Softball Girls 18A Fastpitch National Championships, coming to you from Wallace Marine Park in Salem, Oregon. Today's game features the All-American Mizuno and the Minnesota Magic. We'll be back right after these messages.
Amanda Dickmeyer.
Amanda Dickmeyer leading things off. And this is a winner's bracket game. Both of these teams coming in at 5-0. John Piper along with Kevin Wise, the rest of our CCTV crew, out at Wallace Marine Park. And always get a kick out of when the first base coach is hanging around in the dugout and then runs across after the first pitch. You'd think he'd get the hang of that by now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think, you know, maybe pre-game preparations, but for us, we're thinking, what is going on here?
It's not like you're the third base coach and you just walk out there and nobody notices, but you got to run all the way across the dugout. Pat Moore with a strikeout to start things off, and Pat Moore, some of you may recognize, played for South Medford and was the starting pitcher for South Medford when they played South Salem in the playoffs.
Yeah, a few years back, and as a freshman, I tell you what, that was a loaded South Salem team. And
fly ball out to deep center field, and the ball is dropped. The runner will go into second base. And Cameron Veenbos takes advantage of the miscue. Well, tough ball to handle, but still should have been a catch.
it was. You know, it kind of kept tailing on her a little bit, and it looked like she was going to have it, and then, I don't know, last second pops out, and end up now with the runner on second in scoring position.
Now batting number 33, number 5, Taylor McLaughlin.
Pat Moore's one of those pitchers. She's going to live on the corners.
Talon McLaughlin started in that ball game against South Salem as a freshman, and those were the years South Salem had Katie Donovan.
Yeah.
So that was quite a contrast with the young freshman pitcher from South Medford facing off with Katie Donovan, who, of course, having a great career at the University of Utah.
She is, and then South Salem as well had Kelly Burdick at that time, who's now playing at University of Washington. So two very strong D1 players right there.
Fouled out of play. One down, just underway here at the 18A National Championships at Wallace Marine Park. And the Minnesota Magic, 5-0 as we mentioned, along with their opponents. They're in the winner's bracket and getting down to the next to last day of the tournament, and the stakes get higher and higher. Ground ball out to second base, handled. Second out, runner advances to third base. And you can see right off the bat here, Kevin, these girls can hit the ball.
Yes, they can, and there's a reason why they're both in the winner's bracket. And you want to stay there too, because if you drop down to the loser's bracket, you have a lot of games facing you.
Strike one as Ashley Mickschul, the pitcher, before the Magic steps
Now
in.
batting number 32, Ashley Mitchell.
And the young lady that made the play on second there, that's Megan McGrath, who's current South Salem player.
And an RBI as the ball goes right back up the middle. And Cameron Veenbos scores the first run of this ball game. And we could be looking at an exciting ball game here, as you would expect when you get this far.
Yeah. Should be a really good game.
Shannon Matzo, the catcher, steps in. Runner on first base.
Now batting number 8, Sharon Motzko.
Seeing Moore staying on the outside there. Painting that outside corner.
Strike 2.
Good movement on the ball.
It's been a long tournament when you dribble the ball back to your own pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it. We talked in an earlier ball game with Ty Nicholson that positions that demand the most in these tournaments are the pitcher and the catcher. In terms of the physical demands. And being a catcher is a tough job. And when you get in one of these multi-day tournaments, unless you have a backup to give you a little bit of relief, you're going to spend a lot of time behind the plate.
And then you have the added pressure or stress of having that equipment on. And when it's a warmer day, gosh, makes it hard. If you're catching 2, 3, 4, 5 games, you're wiped out.
And a strikeout. So Pat Moore gets the third out, but a run comes in. Let's take a look at that.
Nice pitch. Once again, good movement. Gets the strikeout. Gets out of the inning.
Our score after 1/2 inning, Minnesota Magic won, and the All-American Mizuno will come to bat. But it has been impressive to watch this tournament. We're so glad that Capital Community Television gets to be a part of it. Thanks to all of our CCTV volunteers and staff members who make these games possible on Capital Community Television. And also want to thank all the people from the city of Salem who have been so accommodating, helping us out. Just been a fun tournament, and still we're 1 day away from the championship game, so still got a number of teams that are dreaming about getting that championship trophy.
You know, and as we're walking in, they have the trophies displayed under a tent, and wow, those are some nice trophies. Be some nice hardware to go home with.
Ashley Mitchell will be in the circle for the Magic.
I think if it's a team that had to take a plane here, they might have to buy an extra seat.
For that trophy?
Yeah. If they're the championship team.
Batting first for All-American Mizuno, number 23.
That might be worth the money. I don't know.
Centerfielder, Jenna Sobrero.
Jenna Sobrero will lead things off here for All-American Mizuno. And a strike, and both these pitchers throwing strikes.
They are both, at least so far, living on the outside half of the plate. It was almost more of a defensive swing there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled out of play.
I like that pitcher has strike 2, and the hitter Sobrero, that was a good swing to battle off there.
High for ball 3, full count.
Good at bat so far.
And a swing and a miss for the first out.
I think honestly runs, if it's any indication of what we've seen so far with the pitching, I think runs are going to be at a premium this game.
Number 21, Regan Diaz.
Now batting number 21, shortstop, Reagan Diaz.
Takes ball 2. And 3 balls.
Good pitches, they're not far off.
And ball 4, so a walk on 4 pitches.
That one must have been just a little bit high. She's not missing by much.
And number 00, Aubrey Akins, steps in with a runner on first base. One down in the bottom of the first inning. Winner's bracket game. Nice looking pitch there. Well, sometimes it takes maybe an inning to kind of get your groove on here in this type of game.
I think you have to feel out the pitchers, see what they're throwing, and the girls will go back and, you know, talk to their teammates. And
Fouled out of play.
one thing I've noticed so far with the Minnesota pitcher, she works fast. She doesn't like to take a lot of time in between pitches.
And a strikeout, and the runner goes into second base safely.
That was a beautiful off-speed pitch right there. Get her swinging, get the second out.
Popped up and drops in. One of those balls where you try to find it, number 1, and then how do I get a glove on it?
Yeah.
Sidney Cross.
And I think a bit of a lack of communication there between, you got your left fielder, shortstop, third baseman all running for the ball. Somebody needs to call the other 2 off.
Sydney,
Go ahead, take that ball there.
Sydney Cross is the batter with 2 down. And another nice looking pitch.
Those are perfect spot, just on the outside corner.
Not much the hitter can do with that.
No.
And that's where if you're that hitter, you've got to be very selective. You've got to find a pitch that you can hit, because even if it's a strike and it's something you can't really get the bat on, let it go by.
Yeah.
Unless it's that third strike. Popped out of play.
And like that one as a hitter, that's probably not the pitch that she wants, but she did a really good job of fouling it off and getting another opportunity here to put a ball in play.
High hopper, long throw, and gets the third out, and a runner stranded on second base.
That was a beautiful play there. Replay. Nice play right there.
Our score after one complete inning, the Minnesota Magic won, and the All-American Mizuno Walker team, nothing. Once again, we're at Wallace Marine Park. John Piper, Kevin Wise, the rest of our crew. And beautiful day, Saturday, the day before the championship game. We've got two teams with perfect 5-0 records. We've seen some good pitching so far already and some good fielding. And obviously important to stay in that winner's bracket. You can move on because neither team has a loss here, double elimination tournament, but you don't want to have to play any more games than you want to.
Yeah, especially with the heat. You know, it's not like it's overwhelming heat like we had early in the week, but still, when you start reaching in the low 90s, it does take a toll on the kids.
And the announcers.
Yeah, you know, we're up here kind of complaining.
We got a nice screen and a fan. And
yeah.
We're a lot older than they are, though.
That's true. That is true. We deserve it at this point.
Batting first at the top of the second inning. Number 3, first baseman, Allie York.
Yort steps in to lead off the second inning for the Minnesota Magic. Magic are in those black uniforms. Those got to be pretty hot, too.
Yes, they do. And I'm imagining being from Minnesota, probably a little more humid there. They might be enjoying this weather.
Well, I was talking with one of the fans from Wisconsin. They were telling me it was in the 60s there when they left.
Oh.
So I don't know about Minnesota, though.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
But it is what it is. You come to the tournament. Nobody can control the weather.
Oh.
A swing and a miss. A nice placement there by Pat Moore.
Was, like I said, she's staying on that outside corner, and she has good movement. So, as a hitter, those are hard pitches to get to.
Now batting.
Megan Rebelke.
Number 7, playing right field, Megan Rebelke.
Rebelke takes ball one. Pops up. Out to second base. And an easy play for Megan McGrath.
Megan on the South Salem team is one of their main pitchers, and from my understanding, in the team she's on here, they don't pitch her that much, if at all.
Stepping in is number 4, Hannah Mortensen, designated
Now
player.
batting number 4, Hannah Mortensen.
Takes ball one. And a swing and a miss, and Pat Moore's got some velocity on that pitch.
Yes, she does.
Not sure what year in school she is now, but that freshman year, I remember that very small pitcher from South Medford, and there she was in the circle, taking on the South Salem Saxons. Did a nice job for them.
Yes, she did.
But didn't seem to be phased at all by the pressure situation.
No, and I don't remember the exact score of the game, but I think it might have been just one, maybe 1 or 2 to nothing. South Salem won that game, but you know, when I'm walking into the park and I'm looking at Pat Moore, and I'm thinking, wow, she's not very big. But
Yeah, you look at that roster, it says freshman.
yeah, but I'll tell you what, size doesn't matter.
And a walk sends Mortensen down to first base with 2 outs.
One thing, once again, both of these pitchers are not missing by much.
And one of the things the pitcher needs to do is kind of figure out how is the umpire calling this game, because they aren't missing by much. And what's it going to take to get that strike?
Yeah, yeah. They've done a really good job of painting the corners, not missing with pitches.
Substitution number 16 for 4. 16 for 4.
'Cause I would say,
16 for 4.
I would say against, when you have two teams like this, if you miss your spot, they're going to make you pay.
Courtesy runner down at first base, and stepping in will
Now
be
batting number
Catherine
12.
Wirtman.
Catherine Whitman.
Throw down to second base, high throw, but a great tag there by the shortstop, gets the out. You don't see that very often, but catching the ball, tagging immediately as the runner went by.
Yeah. Watch here, here's a replay of it. Boy, that was, if you watch the catcher, that was a great transition, and threw from her knees.
As we head for the bottom of the second inning, still 1-0 in the Minnesota Magic over the All-American Mizuno. And with a close ball game as we expect, the defense becomes even more important. If you're putting runs on the board, you can afford to give up some runs, but here, a tight ball game, you've got to make sure you execute every play efficiently.
And it comes back to that first inning where you have the number 2 batter for the Magic, Veenbos, who hit that fly to center field, which in all likelihood probably should have been caught. And, you know, instead, you know, she drops the ball, get the runner on second, and comes in to score. So
Third baseman Taylor Walker.
So Taylor Walker will lead things off here for the All-American Mizuno. Fouls off the first pitch. Got a large contingent from Minnesota to our left here.
yeah, very nice crowd.
Well, you think about the players and the coaches and the long season, but it's the parents as well, the grandmas and mom and dad and the brothers that are all out here to support their children.
Yeah. You like to see that too. And the kids like it too.
Little dribbler out towards first base, and one down.
Right off the hands there.
Haley Sobrero, foul ball.
Now batting number 14. Third baseman Haley Sobrero.
And foul ball right, like it hit her right in the mask there.
So I like that the girls wear masks.
Really is a good idea.
Yeah.
Not just for the catcher and pitcher every now and then you see some position players, and definitely for the hitters, you need that mask as well as the helmet. Little dribbler out to the pitcher, but foul ball.
Tell if that went off the leg or the foot, but good call by the umpire. Yeah, you go back to that foul ball, and if she doesn't have that mask, that could be right in the eye. Very painful.
Two strikes. Fouled off again.
Pretty close, but I think she missed just a little high.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out here, bottom of the 2nd inning. Fouled off.
I like her 2-strike approach. She's fighting it off and trying to get another pitch to hit.
Two balls and 2 strikes, and Minnesota fans didn't agree with that call.
Yeah, they didn't like it too much, but it was a bit inside.
Fouled off, and that is going to be just out of play. Might have been a ball there, but when you get those 2 strikes, you can't be quite so choosy.
Yeah, yep. You
Really?
don't want to leave it in the hands of the umpire, and nothing against the umpires because they do a great job, but as a hitter, you know, you got to protect.
Fouled off again.
She's doing
Good.
a great job with this at-bat, battling and trying to give herself an opportunity to get on base.
Strike call on the outside corner.
Yeah. Just when I said she was doing a good job, and I'll tell you what, that's a tough one there.
Number 42.
Because she did paint that corner, and as a hitter, you don't want to let something that close go.
Megan McGrath out of South Salem High School. Lines it out to center field. Nice catch by the center fielder. Looked like that might have dropped in for a base hit, but Minnesota Magic with a good fielding play get out of that inning with their opponents unable to get any runs.
That was a good play right there, because you're right, it did look like that ball was dropping in, and center fielder just took it away.
After 2 complete innings, our score, the Minnesota Magic 1 and the All-American Mizuno Walker team nothing.
I'll tell you what, being an opposing coach against Megan McGrath, she's one of those kids that when she gets up to the plate, she is hard to get out. She's a great hitter.
Glad you could join us once again on Capital Community Television in Salem. John Piper along with Kevin Wise out at Wallace Marine Park, and what a great facility for a national championship tournament. For most of this tournament, we've had 5 fields going now. Number of teams eliminated, not so many games, but just a beautiful facility. And hopefully all of these teams that came from out of town enjoying their stay in Oregon.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, for the amount of time that I've spent here, I haven't been here the whole tournament, but
base hit.
Up the middle.
Right back up the middle for Catherine Wertman, the left fielder. And when you get that leadoff hitter on base, that's a big plus.
Yes, it is. It's a nice way to start. Now you have an opportunity to maybe try to bunt and get that runner over and get somebody in scoring position. they're not bunting.
No.
Before that hit, I was saying, though, I think the tournament organizers have done a really good job with this tournament when you have almost 50 teams and you're trying to make sure that all the teams are taken care of and that the games run smoothly, and they've done a really good job here.
Amanda Dickmeyer.
Dickmeyer with her second at bat here. She's the leadoff hitter, runner on first base with nobody out for the Magic. One and one the count. Bunt is foul back to the screen.
That was a good pitch by Moore. It looked like a bit of a rise ball, and I'll tell you what, those rise balls are hard to bunt.
Throw back to first base, runner back in time. Little foul out of play. Dickmeyer with a 2-2 count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Outside there.
Driven out to first base. Nice play to get the out, though. As the ball trying to get it in on the fly, but couldn't do that. Taylor Walker, smart enough to flip it over to first base. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, she tried to catch it in the air, but stuck with it, and good job by McGrath coming over to cover, get the out.
So the runner advances to second base. We've got a conference with our umpires here, not sure what the discussion is. Any ideas?
No. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Not a very long discussion.
No. At first, I was wondering if they were talking about the play there. Boy, that's a hard one. I'm not sure.
Cameron Veenbos is the hitter with 1 out and the runner on second base.
I don't know, in all the years I've been watching or coaching the game, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that there with the umpires.
Popped back out of play. Driven out to left field, and a nice grab by the left fielder. Runner hustles back to second base. We talked about the importance of fielding in a close ball game, and there's a great example. That could have been real trouble.
That could have, I'll tell you what, if that ball gets by her, that's another run for this Minnesota team. But she did a great job of getting her glove up there at the right time and stopping a run from scoring.
Talon McLaughlin, the third baseman, pops it out of play. And to get that championship trophy, you not only have to have a good offense, but you have to have a good defense.
Oh boy. That's the thing, you know, at this level as a pitcher, you know you're not going to strike all these girls out. So your job as a pitcher is to keep that ball in play, and your defense has to perform behind you. And
Number 33.
I'll tell you what, all day long today, that's been happening. There have been some really good defensive plays by all of the teams.
Grounder out to the pitcher. Moore takes care of it for the third out.
So the leadoff base hit doesn't end up hurting the Mizuno team. Nice play there by Moore.
As we head to the bottom of the third inning, still a 1-0 ball game with the Minnesota Magic over the All-American Mizuno Walker team. And that play in left field, really big for the All-American Mizuno team.
Yes, it was. This is the point here where with the Mizuno team, you know, with the first 2 innings, they've only had 1 base runner, and that was from a walk. So, you know, this is the point where if you're that team, you're hoping that you start figuring the pitcher out and getting some base runners and pushing across a run or 2.
You certainly can't wait too long in these games. We had an earlier game today that was called because of time limit. So you need to take advantage of the opportunities and don't say, well, we'll get them next inning.
44, the designated player, Katrina Winterburn.
You know, in high school ball, you have 7 full innings, but here when you're playing in these tournaments, you will have games that are on time limits, and so you're right. You may not have another inning to come back and try to get those runs back.
Katrina Winterburn leading things off here. Pops it up. I think that's going to drift out of play. Not a whole lot of space here in terms of space on down the foul lines and behind the plate. Don't think she wanted to swing at that one, but it was too late.
Yeah, tried to hold back, but she just couldn't. Wow.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
I tell you, she is not missing by much. She has some, all these pitchers have just great movement.
That's going to drop in for a base hit and a base runner for the All-American Mizuno. Winterburn does the job here and gets on first base.
I tell you, that was one of those pitches that, you know, she fought off on the inside and got just enough of it to fist it out into you know, left center and get a base hit.
Mackenzie Oakes tries to lay down the bunt.
Now batting number 2, playing left field, Mackenzie Oakes.
I think this is one where, you know, getting a bunt down here and getting that runner over it's crucial. Oh boy.
Takes strike 2 now. The bunt probably off the table.
Yeah. Pitcher for the Magic, it just does a great job of working that corner there.
Fouled out of play. And Mitchell working very quickly. Knows what she wants to do. She steps in there and she's ready to go.
It's not giving the hitter much time to step back and think.
Down to third base, over to second for 1.
Tell you what, the Magic third baseman just took away that lead runner. You watch this here, just beautiful transition, quick throw. Yeah.
Very smooth, very smooth. Swing and a miss.
Took some off that pitch.
Jenna Sobrero. But the third baseman, that's what you want to be, efficient. want to get that lead runner in a ball game like this, a one-run game right now.
Yeah.
Every
Now
runner
batting number 23,
is at a
Jenna
premium there,
Saburo.
and you want to keep them from picking up that run to tie the ball game. Down to first base, gets through. As the first baseman tried to backhand a runner headed to third base, it's cut off. And now runners on first and third for the All-American Mizuno. And as first baseman down there, rather than get in front of that ball, tried to backhand it, and that didn't work out too well.
She did, yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like she probably had time to get in front of that ball, and like you said, tried to backhand it, and it got by her.
Reagan Diaz, shortstop, steps in with one out. Runners on first and third in the bottom of the third inning. Now another conference. Not quite sure what's going on here. Doesn't take very long for their conferences.
No, it doesn't. The third base umpire, that's the second time he's done that, and I don't know if he's seeing something.
Nice pitch. First strike one.
They haven't changed any of their calls, so. The only thing I could think of, John, is maybe he's coming over and asking about her. Like I mentioned earlier, this Minnesota pitcher is working really fast, and
Fouled out of play.
sometimes we call that fast pitching. And
Now batting number 21, Reagan Diaz.
I don't know.
Hasn't affected anything,
No, not yet.
but it's kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah, kind of leaves us guessing here.
Three balls, two strikes now for Reagan Diaz. Facing Ashley Mitchell. Mitchell has been in control here, but two runners on now. There's a swing, little dribbler, but fouled off. That would have been tough to handle, wouldn't it?
It would have,
Would
yes.
have probably loaded the bases.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think the runner could have scored from third base. That is ball four. The bases are loaded.
Wow.
And that is going to bring up 0-0. Aubrey Akins, the number 3 hitter for the All-American Mizuno.
Now batting.
Usually that number
0-0,
3 hitter,
Aubrey
your number
Akins.
1 or number 2 hitter in the lineup. The kid you can rely on.
Usually in softball, you'll see that number 3 hitter is usually your power hitter in there. We'll see what she can do.
Takes strike one. One out, bases loaded. 1-run advantage for Minnesota now, but time called.
That's one way with the batter. If you have a kid that's quick pitching as a hitter, which is smart on Aiken's part here, call a timeout.
Inside for ball one. Well out of the strike zone. Base hit, that's going to score at least 1 run. Throw to the plate is cut off. The runner's got to get back. We've got 2 runners on third base.
Oh.
Now we've got a rundown.
Oh.
And a runner is out. So miscommunication there as we had two runners in red shirts on third base.
Yeah, and I think the runner on second probably didn't look up as she rounded and catch what the coach was doing. And here's the replay, John. I think the Minnesota team honestly handled it pretty well when they got into that run down there. But it did score a run for the Mizuno team.
Sydney Cross with 2 outs now, but if you're All-American Mizuno, you just hate to see that kind of base running mistake.
Yeah, you do, because that one could come back and, you know, instead of having bases loaded still and 1 out, now you got first and third with 2 outs.
Big hit, though, by Aubrey Akins.
Now batting number 16, Sydney Cross.
Fouled off.
And as a coach, I'm much, I would prefer having bases loaded with 1 out.
Swing and a miss on that high pitch. But 1 run ties it up. And for the All-American Mizuno, just have to go back in the field and say, well, we kind of goofed that one up, but we're tied up.
Yeah. No, it's good. They come away with the run, which is nice because the way both pitchers have been throwing, like I said earlier, runs are going to be at a premium here. So you got to take what you can get.
After 3 complete innings, we're tied up with the Minnesota Magic and the All-American Mizuno Walker team. Winners bracket game here at the 18A National Championships, Wallace Marine Park, Salem, Oregon, on Capital Community Television. And it looked like the All-American Mizuno had a real opportunity there, but base runner just was apparently not paying attention and ended up on the same base as her teammate.
Base running errors, you know, as a coach, those are really frustrating because it can mean the difference between a win and a loss. And right here, you know, as we've talked about earlier, both of these teams are, you know, fortunately for them, neither one of them is going to go home with a loss, but you lose a game like this and it makes it harder because now you're playing a lot more games than you would have had to if you stay in the winner bracket.
So top of the 4th, tie ball game.
Now batting number 32, Ashley Mitchell.
Ashley Mitchell, the pitcher, steps in.
As a pitcher, you know, after that last inning, you want to get back up and maybe redeem yourself a little bit. And
fouled out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
that time with the umpire calling timeout, we knew what that was, getting the foul ball back in.
Swing and a miss and a beautiful pitch.
Boy, nice change up there. I'm telling you something, John, sitting back behind here, that was a beautiful changeup. I mean, when that came out of her hands, it looked like it was coming hard.
Shannon Matzo, the catcher, steps in with 1 out. And we do have a nice view here, and also our center field camera for Capital Community Television gives you a good look at those.
Yeah.
Thanks again for all of our camera operators and all the other people it takes to bring you these ball games on CCTV. And of course, streaming on the internet. Another beautiful pitch by Pat Moore.
I would say we have the best of both worlds. We have the best seats and the best views from the cameras. Yeah.
That's high for ball 3, a full count on Shannon Matzo. And ball 4.
Didn't miss by much, but just a little bit outside.
Next up,
Allie
3.
York, the first baseman.
Allie York.
And we've got a courtesy runner.
Courtesy runner, number 9 for the catcher.
Number 9 is Sophie Lee. Goes in for the catcher, gives that catcher a break. And she can put on her catching gear too.
Yeah, yeah. Gives her time to get a drink of water, maybe relax a little bit, and then get the gear on.
Swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch again. And Pat Moore
That ball is moving.
really has good control, doesn't she? And she's got motion on it.
Yes.
Changing speeds very well.
Yeah.
And if you're the batter, you're trying to figure out, well, what's coming next?
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you, both pitchers have done a really good job today.
strike 3. And that changeup, wow.
Yeah, that's one that's hard because, you know, if you watch this here,
Now batting number 7.
look at the
Megan
movement on that thing.
Rubelke.
Just breaking inside, man.
Megan Rubelke takes strike 1. A runner on first base, but there are 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning in a 1-1 game. Throw down to first base and back in time. And with runs being at such a premium here, we can expect to see the catcher trying to keep that runner close to first base.
Yeah. Keeping her honest.
Another beautiful
Man.
pitch.
I'll tell you what, one thing with Moore is she's a smart pitcher. She's figured out what the ump's calling, and she is working the corners. It just perfectly.
Kind of like the basketball player has to figure out which kind of fouls the officials are calling.
Exactly.
What can I get away with?
Yeah.
And the pitcher, the same situation. What are they calling? Grounder to third base. Long throw. Plenty of time. And a very good inning for Pat Moore. Had 1 runner left on base, but she really is doing a good job keeping those batters off balance.
Yeah, and that last pitch you saw there, she took a little off that one. And, you know, the batter got one right off the end of the bat there. Kind of a doinker to third and gets out of the inning.
And as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, still a 1-1 tie with the Minnesota Magic and the All-American Mizuno Walker team. And it has been a pitcher's duel. We've seen some good plays in the field as well. And for the All-American Mizuno, that base running mistake probably cost them at least 1 more run in the last inning. So they're going to have to put that behind them. You got to have a short memory.
You do.
And you got to focus on, okay, we can't do anything about that now, but that's not going to happen to us again.
Yeah.
Batting first for All-American.
Yeah, and you
Number
know,
6, Taylor Walker.
Here's the point. Yeah, we're into the 4th inning now, and the way this game has been, it's like who's going to get the timely hit or who might make the costly error.
Taylor Walker leads things off. And a strike. You're not going to get very many free passes in this game.
No.
You're going to have to hit the ball. And there she comes on the outside corner.
Man.
After getting the strike on the inside corner.
Both of these pitchers, I'll tell you what, they are dealing right now. Oh boy.
Very close there.
Yeah, I'm not sure where she missed, but
Well, we're directly behind the catchers, so
yeah,
we can't tell for sure, but it looked like about the same spot as the last one. Fouled off. Taylor Walker is going to have to really be alert here with 2 strikes. And anything close, she's going to have to get a bat on it.
yeah. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, this is a fun one to watch because these pitchers are man, they are doing a great job.
Three balls and 2 strikes now, so Walker.
She's doing a good job too
Doing a
with
good
changing.
job there.
Yeah.
Line foul.
Looks like we need to get. Oh, there we go.
Need a new ball.
All the balls flying over the fence, and
Well, the pitchers really are doing a good job, and batters having a little trouble. They're hitting the ball, but it's not going out in the field.
no.
Down the line, that's a fair ball. And a single for Taylor Walker, getting things started here for the All-American Mizuno in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Boy. Here we go. Yep. Just gets enough of it to get it down the line, and you know, third baseman made a good attempt, but just
Now batting
couldn't
number
quite
14,
get there.
Haley Sobrero.
Haley Sobrero with runner on first, nobody out. Nice looking pitch again. And we'll see if All-American goes with a bunt here to try to advance that runner. There it is. And the pitcher thought about going to second base, but I think a wise decision to get that out at first base.
Yeah.
That would have been a close play at second, and might have not worked out the way Minnesota wanted. Also, you always have that potential of throwing the ball away when you go to second base.
You do, and I mean, probably the only time you really want to go to second is if you know you have a sure play there.
Megan McGrath. McGrath line drive to the third baseman. What a play.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Boy.
That is Taylor McClaffin. Wow.
Man, she has, honestly, she's done a really good job over there. And
Just another play, Coach.
boy, I think she just saved a run right there.
For sure, and you look at how hard Megan McGrath has hit the ball in her 2
man.
at-bats, and she's got nothing to show for it except 2 outs.
I told you, if you're the opposing coach, she's one of those hitters you want to stay away from because she's going to make you pay.
And you
Now
watch
batting number 44, Katrina Winterburn.
Winterburn steps in, but you watch McClaffin at third base, kind of like, well, okay, just another play.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
She looks so cool and calm over there, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the next batter.
Man, I'd be over there shaking right now.
That ball was smoked.
Man.
A strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Winterburn. All-American with a runner on second base now, but 2 outs, so trying to break that 1-1 tie. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3. Full count now.
I don't think you get any better than this. Great defense and great pitching.
Now we've got another conference.
Sounds like this time they're asking what the count is. I want to make sure they have the right count.
And I think it is 3-2.
Yeah.
Well, no, they've sent her down to first base.
What do you got for count?
Okay.
No, it isn't. Well, so it was, well, it was a full count,
Yeah.
which is what the umpire said and what the scoreboard shows.
Yeah. Some teams have their scorekeepers, and honestly, it's hard sometimes when you're keeping score and trying to watch the game. And
Now ball 4. So 2 runners on now, and 2 out now. What is the coach asking about?
looks like he's making a. Oh, couldn't tell there.
Looks like Savannah Fagan is going to hit here.
Okay, so it made a change in the hitting lineup.
So Savannah Fagan will hit. Takes strike 1. Runners on first and second.
Throw a rise ball there. Missed a little bit high.
1 ball and 1 strike. Another beautiful pitch. And a called 3rd strike. So Mick gets out of trouble. And it really has been a pitcher's duel. Let's take a look at that last pitch.
Oh man, that's a hard one as a hitter. You can't watch that one.
So after 4 complete innings, we are still tied at 1 apiece. The Minnesota Magic and the All-American Mizuno Walker team. And it has been a pitcher's duel with the exception of that 1 inning when All-American had the bases loaded. We'll be back right after this. And it has been a great tournament, great opportunity for the local people here in Salem to see some top quality softball, and a great opportunity for these teams from around the country to spend a week here in Salem, compete for that national championship trophy. Hopefully everyone having a good time out here on the West Coast.
And I'll tell you what, this has been some really good softball here.
Hannah Mortensen, the designated player, will lead things off for the Minnesota Magic here in the top of the 5th inning. A swing and a miss. Pat Moore and her counterpart, Ashley Mickschul, have just pitched extremely well.
Yes.
And runs hard to come by.
Great pitching, great defense.
This is a winner's bracket game, so the loser of this ball game will still continue on in the tournament, but the road will be a little bit tougher. You want to stay on that winner's side. You want to play as few ball games as you have to play. Both these teams have played 5 games. They're 5-0. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. We started off with 49 teams in the tournament. Starting play on Monday with the pool play, a couple of days of that, and into bracket play. And there have been some dandy games out here.
Yes, there have.
Another conference.
Oh. He called an illegal pitch on that one. I'm not sure what the illegal pitch was, but with that we should have a ball.
The batter is Catherine Whitman.
Yeah.
Rather, Catherine Wirtman.
Now batting, number 12.
Hopefully we've got that pronounced correctly.
The scoreboard's wrong there. When you have an illegal pitch, that's a ball. That pitch didn't look too bad right there.
Looked good to me, but again, we are directly behind the umpire, so a little hard to tell. 3 balls, 1 strike. And on that outside corner, both those pitchers have done an excellent job of getting the ball just across the corners. Now we've got a 3-2 count. And a swing and a miss for the second out. Pat Moore really in a groove here, as is her counterpart. Amanda Dickmeyer, shortstop, will try to get things going here, but there are 2 outs now.
2 strikeouts this inning for Pat Moore.
Pat Moore comes in for strike 1. Little blooper is going to go foul. Dickmeyer, the leadoff hitter for the Minnesota Magic. One ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's an all right pitch to waste. Try to, or not a waste pitch, but you try to get the batter to chase that one.
Driven out to left field. That is going to be over the fence for a home run for Amanda Dickmeyer. And that ball got out of here quickly.
Yes, it did. I think, honestly, John, that's one of the few times I think this game where we've seen a pitcher leave the ball hanging across the middle of the plate. Unfortunately, she did that time, and Dickmeyer got all of that one.
That gives the Minnesota Magic a 1-run advantage here in the top of the 5th inning. And it's going to send to the plate Cameron Veenbos, second baseman. One of the few mistakes by Pat Moore, and Amanda Dickmeyer made her pay for it, and pay for it in a hurry.
Yeah.
No question about that one.
No, and at this level, I think I said earlier, you can't make mistakes of these hitters because they will make you pay for it.
got to throw the ball in here so it can resume play.
A lot of balls flying out of here this game.
Just over the head of the shortstop for a base hit. Bean Boss, I think, has had a hit earlier in the ball game.
Yeah, and Pat Moore started off pretty well this inning with the 2 strikeouts, but boy, this Minnesota team's sticking with it. And a couple hits now.
Talon McClaffin, the third baseman who made those nice plays in the field, will get a chance to hit now.
Now batting, number 33, Talon McClaffin.
Check swing goes foul.
Not happy with herself on that one, but
fouled off. Ball out to the second baseman. McGrath makes the play for the third out. But the Magic get that run on the home run by Amanda Dickmeyer and lead. Take a look at this last play here. McGrath doing a good job there. Runner coming right in front of her.
yeah.
So as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, the Minnesota Magic 2 and the All-American Mizuno Walker team 1. And that home run given up by Pat Moore just left the pitch out over the plate, and Dickmeyer kind of waiting. You know, they've been waiting the whole game to get a chance to get a pitch right over the middle there.
Yeah.
And she sent it out over the left field fence.
Yeah, when you get a pitch like that against one of these pitchers too, as a hitter, you have to take advantage of it. And she did. Boy, still a great game though, 2-1 in the 5th. We still, honestly, we still have a lot of softball to play, so.
Jenna Sobrero, the leadoff hitter, will lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for the All-American Mizuno out of Redding, California. A couple of Oregon players we mentioned on the team. And if you want to have really good competition, it doesn't really matter where you live if you can get to the from Salem to Redding. You're going to play on a team that qualified for the national championship.
Now batting number 23, Jenna
Dribbler down to
Sobrero.
first base, easy play.
Occasionally you will see some of these Oregon kids traveling to California to play, and
Batting next, number 21.
does seem like a long way, but you know,
You want the competition.
you do, yeah.
A little bit high. Well, locally we think about Avina Westbrook, the South Salem basketball player, played summers in California.
Yeah,
So you want to play at the highest level of competition you can find within a reasonable distance, and
yeah.
it certainly worked out pretty well for Avina.
It did, yeah. Yeah, where she's going on next year to play at Tennessee, you know, one of the best women's basketball programs in the country.
Out to left field. It's going to be trouble. And a nice catch out in left field.
Honestly, that was almost a check swing. It didn't seem like she got all of it. That thing just kept going and going, and See the replay here.
Now batting,
Wow.
7-0, Aubrey Aiken.
Saved a run right there.
That's going to drop in for a single. And that last catch was by Catherine Wertinen out in left field for Minnesota. And surprising how far that ball traveled on that check swing.
Holy cow. I'm telling you though, when you get pitchers that are throwing hard like these girls are, you know, you get one of those on the sweet spot of the bat, it's going to go a ways.
Now batting number 16.
Ball
Sydney
one
Cross.
on Sydney Cross as Aubrey Aiken's down at first base. Pulled foul. And for All-American Mizuno, they had some opportunities. That one inning they kind of ran themselves out of maybe getting 1 or 2 more runs.
Yeah, they did.
That ball is deep to center field, but not deep enough. And a couple of nice plays in the outfield for the Minnesota Magic.
Yeah, she had a good read on that ball, nice drop. Found the fence and then came back in on it here.
And our score after 5 complete innings, the Minnesota Magic 2 and the All-American Mizuno Walker team 1. A couple of opportunities, and they've certainly hit the ball well in the last inning, especially for All-American Mizuno, but just not quite far enough or not in the gaps there.
Yeah.
You've got to feel good about your hitting the ball, but then it's got to be frustrating that you don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, those were 2 very long outs right there. And you know, you start to wonder, is that a sign that maybe the pitcher's getting tired, or is it a sign that the Mizuno team is starting to figure her out?
Well, after you've faced her a couple of times, you ought to be able to make those adjustments. The players at this level are good enough that they can understand, and the coaches at this level, they can understand what they need to do.
Yeah.
But you really need to have a number of pitchers if you're going to go deep into the tournament. Pat Moore has done an outstanding job, but the lineup has seen her, and the same with Ashley Mickshall.
First, number 32, Ashley Mitchell.
So now we have the pitcher pitching to the pitcher.
Ashley Mickshall. First pitch a little bit high.
One of the things I've noticed here, John, is when she comes up to hit, she has glasses on.
Interesting, but does not wear them when she's pitching.
Yeah.
Lays down the bunt, back to Pat Moore. Nice throw. Got her. Close play, though.
That was a close play. See that on the replay here.
Batting next, number 8, Shannon Matsko.
Yep. Got her. It was really close, but
Matzo with 1 down. Takes a strike. Grounder down to first base. Stepping on the bag, can't be much easier than that. And for Pat Moore from South Medford, not too far of a drive there to get to Redding, California.
no,
But for Megan McGrath, a little bit more of a trip.
it is. Yeah.
Next up, number 3, Allie York.
Allie Yort with 2 down, pops it up. Oh, and the first baseman kind of lost her balance there. Hopefully okay.
Yeah, it's hard to say if she hit a hole there, or usually these fields are so well taken care of, but I don't know. It's hard
I'm
to
not
say.
sure what happened, but gonna need to send that uniform to the laundry.
Yes.
Drive out to left field, but right in position. The left fielder makes a play and an easy inning. And for the All-American Mizuno, they are anxious, I'm sure, to get to bat here. They've hit the ball hard.
They have, yeah. That last inning, like we said, they had 2 very long outs that were, 2 balls right on the fence that were caught by the outfielders. And so you want to see, like, where's the All-American team at as far as the hitting, and then maybe see, like I said before, is the pitcher, is she running out of steam, because now you're on your 6th day of the tournament, and I'm not sure how many innings she's pitched, but it's hard to say.
We got the shortstop out there stirring up the dust. If you play softball, I guess you're used to it, but
Yeah.
that dirt infield, especially on a windy day, doesn't take much to stir up the dust.
No. And I can't remember the exact number of days where we've been without rain here, but
Number 6, Taylor.
when you don't have
Walker.
much rain, it does get dusty out there.
Taylor Walker, the first baseman. You can tell by the dirty uniform. Takes ball 1 low.
She took the dive last inning.
Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. And All-American Mizuno has had base runners, but has had some trouble there getting more than 1 run on the board. Another pitch right on the outside corner.
Yeah, especially like you mentioned earlier in that 3rd inning.
Goes back to the same spot, and Walker has to take a swing at it, but misses.
Up next,
Yeah,
number
once again,
14,
John, going back to that
Haley
3rd inning where they
Sombrero.
had the base running miscue. Possibly right now we could have a 2-2 game, but
Haley Sombrero takes strike 1, and Ashley Mitchell finding that outside corner with the regularity, and there's a swing and a miss, and for the hitters, it kind of puts you on edge.
it does.
And then she comes inside, and you take a swing at it and miss it, the inside pitch.
Yeah.
We could hear the Minnesota fans.
Yeah.
Grounder picked up by the 3rd baseman, McClaffin.
Boy, she has done a great job over there at 3rd. She's one of those players that just makes it look easy. Just looks almost effortless.
Megan McGrath has hit the ball hard, both at bats, and unfortunately,
Number 42,
the last one hit
Megan
right at
McGrath.
McClaffin at 3rd base. She made a great play on that, then had one she drove out earlier out in the field. Swing and a miss for McGrath.
Tell you what, that was a nice pitch.
Took a little bit something off that pitch.
She did and kept it low.
And Megan McGrath says, hey, I'm due here. I've hit the ball hard twice.
Yeah, 2 ropes and nothing to show for it.
High chopper. Shortstop makes the play. And a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah. Nice play by the shortstop. And okay.
After 6 complete innings, it's still 2-1 with the Minnesota Magic. McGrath didn't drive that one like she did the first 2, but fortunate bounce for the shortstop, able to make the play.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what, we've gone through 6 innings. This game has flown by. I mean, at least it feels like it from my perspective. You get a game like this where the pitchers control the game and it moves.
Now the top of the 7th, and Minnesota would certainly like to add a run here.
Yeah. A little bit of insurance.
Nice pitch by Pat Moore. Number 7, Megan Rebelke, the right fielder, steps in, and for the All-American Mizuno, 1-2-3 innings, exactly what they'd like to get to bat again. There's a drive out to right field. That's going to drop in. And Rebelke starts things off for the Minnesota Magic with a hit. And again, it's not how hard you hit it, as Megan McGrath would tell you, it's where you hit it.
It is. You just have to find those holes, which she did there. This is big for the Minnesota team. They get their leadoff runner on and have a chance to get her over here. Oh.
And bunted the ball. I think it came off the bat and hit her in the chin, looks like.
You got it right. See the replay here. Oh, I think it may have got her chin.
I think it hit her in the chin right under the mask. So
it almost looked like it went off her face first and then down onto the bat.
she's going to come off the field here and be attended to.
That's unfortunate too, John. I mean, especially when you travel all this way from Minnesota, and hopefully she's okay.
Re-entering number 16 for 4. 16 for 4.
So Stacy Monjo is going to come in to replace Hannah Mortensen. She'll re-enter the game, but hopefully not a serious injury.
Yeah, exactly.
Laying down the bunt. Pat Moore gets the runner at first base with McGrath covering.
Yeah.
And we talked about how hard McGrath has hit the ball, but she's done an excellent job at second base covering first on those plays.
Yes, she is. She's an athlete, and she's smart. I mean, good hitter, smart, great player.
Catherine Wirtman takes ball 1.
Catherine Whitman.
One ball, one strike. One ball, two strikes, runner on second base. A one-run ball game so for the All-American Mizuno. Got to keep the score as it is as they enter the bottom half of the inning. Beautiful pitch.
Oh, wow.
Strike 3.
Got her looking. Tell you what, that's a huge pitch there for Pat Moore.
Amanda
Number 37.
Dickmeyer had the home
Amanda
run
Dickmeyer.
that gave the Minnesota Magic the lead.
Good hitter, very patient, waits for a pitch. Nice job there.
Down to first base, ball goes foul. Two balls and one strike. Amanda Dickmeyer. And Pat Moore takes care of the third out herself. So Moore getting out of a little bit of a jam there.
Get that leadoff hit, and then, yeah, work your way out with, I think, honestly, that second out where Wharton struck out looking. Like I said, that was huge.
And still a 2-1 ball game as we head to the bottom of the seventh. So 3 more outs for the All-American Mizuno. And again, this is a winner's bracket game, so both teams will move on, but you want to move on as a winner, obviously, and stay in that winner's bracket. But it has been an outstanding pitching duel between these two teams.
What, two very good teams, fun to watch. It's been a great game.
And Ashley Mickschul has gone the distance for the Minnesota Magic, and Pat Moore going the distance for the All-American Mizuno.
Top of the seventh inning, bottom of the seventh inning.
Katrina Winterburn.
Mizuno, number 44, Katrina Winterburn.
Winterburn leads things off here. You got to get one to tie it, and you can win the game.
Yes.
You are the home team here. Takes ball one. No problem with the time limit so far, so.
No.
And a strike call as Winterburn, not sure if she wanted to swing at that or not.
Had trouble holding back on that one, unfortunately.
And a strike on that outside corner again.
Wow, nice pitch there.
Strike three. As Winterburn kind of waved at that as it went by. Mackenzie Oaks steps in.
Up next, number 2, Mackenzie Oaks.
Now you have the Mizuno team down to their last 2 outs. Possibly.
Oaks, the number 9 hitter, fouls it off.
Oaks so far have reached on a fielder's choice and then struck out looking. Didn't miss by much
that one
there.
could have gone either way.
Yeah. Oaks, though, not a very tall batter, so a little bit smaller strike zone.
Fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here. In a 1-run ball game, All-American Mizuno has got to get at least 1 run in the bottom half here of the 7th inning. stays alive.
Good battle there. Fighting off that two-strike pitch.
Fouled off again, staying alive. A swing and a miss for strike 3, and All-American Mizuno down to their final out here with Jenna Sobrero, the leadoff hitter, stepping in.
She took a little off that last pitch.
Now batting number 23.
Great movement.
Sobrero.
Change of speed. Nice pitch.
Down to second base, bobbled.
Oh, bobbles it. Oh,
and
boy.
still life for the All-American Mizuno, as the second baseman could not handle what looked like a routine ground ball. Cameron Wienboss, definitely an error.
Next up, number 21, Reagan Diaz.
Reagan Diaz takes ball 1. So opportunity now for the All-American Mizuno. Got a runner on first. There are 2 outs though.
That is scary though. You have a chance to finish off a good team and you make an error. That's always tough.
Strike 1 called.
You definitely don't like to give good teams more opportunities. Oh my. I don't know. Not
2 balls
where
and
she
1
missed
strike.
on that one.
It's that small strike zone.
Yeah.
Ball 3. And the All-American Mizuno hoping to get Aubrey Akins up to the plate here and get 2 runners on. Strike 2 called. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down, runner on first base.
Full count, 2 outs. You know she's going.
Little dribbler out to shortstop. The throw to first is in time. And the Minnesota Magic wins today's ball game by a score of 2-1 over the All-American Mizuno Walker team. We'll be back with our post-game comments right after this replay and our sponsors. Our final score once again, the Minnesota Magic 2 and the All-American Mizuno Walker team 1. A pitcher's duel between Pat Moore for the All-American Mizuno team, and then on the other side, Ashley Mitchell. And it came down